no sound. Now there's sound. Awkward. Yeah, I'm a little late today because I was very tired and I had to take a nap. But now I'm here. Hope everybody's doing well. I don't know, whatever. Yeah, because now it's just doing that. What I gotta do is gotta fix this permanently because it is getting on my nerves. Yeah, that's better. hope tonight Mr. Weird will be in here because I have indeed watched the video. Well, 7 minutes of it because it was a 7-hour video. So I watched 7 minutes of it, then realizing that it was 7 hours, and then I was like, I don't think I can watch all that and then stream because I gotta stream now. And it was very interesting, and it spoke about multiple things that of course I relate to and can understand and can see, but there was one thing in particular that I wanted to address about at least the 7 minutes that I've watched. So I'm hoping we're gonna have more people in here and we can discuss like we did yesterday. Yesterday we had a good stream. You know, our discussions were very fruitful, I should say. So hopefully we can repeat this today. Ah, the real Mr. Weird. There. I was just talking about you. How weird is that? No, okay, so I watched your video. I watched it just now. It was not 5 minutes. It was 7 hours. And I watched 7 minutes of it. So it was like, oh my god, he said it was 5 minutes, but it doesn't matter. I couldn't watch 7 hours, and I had, I'm streaming now, so I couldn't do that. Oh, your video was 5 minutes. Okay, did you send me your video as well? Because I only clicked on whatever I opened, and whatever I saw, I clicked on it. I don't know if you sent me yours too. Okay, well, that's the one I clicked on. The other one, shit. You know what? I wonder. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna dare. Oh God, I can't believe I'm doing this. Okay, my computer is not actually. Okay, so far so good. Oh God, it's already starting to. Oh God, no. It's not even opening my notifications. Okay, wait. That's so weird though. I only got one link and I clicked on that. The fuck? Yeah, I clicked on whatever link was there. I clicked on that, and then what opened was the Rudolf Steiner video. Yeah, that's what I got. Let's see. Oh, you sent it again. Yeah, that's a different link. Okay, so let me do this then. I updated my processor, so I'm hoping that that this will help a little bit. So seemingly, if my Streamlabs is still, yeah, looks like everything is still in order. Okay, good. Oh, okay, okay, wait a minute. Shit. Damn it. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I got a better idea. Because I can't do this because I got my interface plugged in, but I don't have my earplugs plugged in. But it's okay because I have a wonderful idea because I'm actually currently listening to music on my YouTube here in my ear. So I'm going to just listen to that real quick. 5 minutes. Yeah, that's not so bad. So let's see. I can find it. Okay. I summoned you. Yeah, probably. These things happen. We know this. We know this. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to find this video on my phone here, and I'm going to watch it real quick. It's only us, I think, right now anyway. Let me see what is the... Unhealthy desires. Is it not showing up now? Oh my god. Yeah, that's what it's called. Instead, they're giving me stuff that is like that video, but it's not. Like, it's like a Wish version of your video. You know what I mean? That's so stupid. Okay, so let's do this. I got an idea. I got another idea. I'm going to go into my Twitch here. And I'm going to find, let me go in my Streamlabs. Oh. Well, I think I can just, yeah, I got it right here. I got it now. Ah, okay, so you send me the link to your video, then you send me the Steiner video, and then you send me the other link again. Weirdly enough, it's not showing up on my desktop computer, but it is showing up. Okay. True. Okay. Well, that was damn. Okay. I gotta. Hmm. So so that's a lot to take in. I gotta take that in first before I start talking. So I gather. So okay. So I have questions. I have I have definitely questions. Um, because at first, so the first question that kind of started building up in me was the question of what desire and why do you personally think that having desire seemingly is what I got the impression. I might be wrong. I might not look between the lines, but uh, why do you think that desire is wrong? That having this desire is wrong? That's my first question. Ah, okay. Of course, I figured that was gonna be my second question, so you kind of already answered that for me. So it seems that you have to sacrifice that in order to be able to align with your marriage. See, for me, this is a very like. See, for me, this is very conflicting. Since you were in the chat yesterday, for me, it's like, is this was this fleshly desire outside of the marriage? Gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Now, okay, see that's not just like a regular desire, in my opinion. That's like, that is something where you do then, if you give into that thing, you overstep a boundary and subsequently hurting another person with it, right? So you know that's not just a regular thing that you just want to do and it's like cool. I see. That's so interesting to me because that's something I've dwelled on. That's something I've dwelled on from in not in the same situation, but similar scenarios. So Okay, okay. Exactly. It's again what we talked about yesterday. You realize then finally that why it didn't fulfill you, because that was not actually what you sought. It's so it is in some way really freeing. It frees you because now you know the truth. But then you stand, and I see this vision in front of me. Now you stand in this hall, in this hallway that is just a ginormous hallway, and that just keeps on going, and there are pictures and paintings on the walls, but it's like you don't know, you need to go down that hallway now, but it's like you don't know how far it goes, how long you're gonna walk. Do you have enough water? Do you have enough food? What will you see on your path? And it's all these questions. And that's always my second feeling, when I have a freeing feeling of some kind of resolution that I have found because of past trauma, blah blah blah, spiritually, whatever. But then I stand there, and I just I'm more confused. Like, people would say, oh, it's the fear now of the unknown, but it's just confusion, because now I'm just like, am I gonna do the right thing or the wrong thing, or by going down that hall? It's I don't know. It's a little tricky to describe what I'm talking about, but yeah. Yeah, that you have, so you have disciplined yourself, but in a way, you it was not just disciplining yourself, but it was also having like this awakening, to see what's the issue. But that's the thing for me. It's like, when I see an issue with me, and I understand why I do, and but then once I have resolved this in my head, and I understand what's the problem, then I stand there, and then I'm like, okay, so now what? Now what? You know what I mean? And that's what I think. It's like, I'm always so, I don't know. I don't know what it is. That's another reason why I'm always seeking to be alone, because I feel like I have to be alone more, because I was never really alone much in my adult life at all. And even as a teenager, I always lived with my family, or I lived with somebody that I was dating, or I was always with somebody. I was never alone. There was a time in my life where I was alone for about a year, and it helped me so much, but it was not enough. It was not enough. The greatest of us, like Tesla, Einstein, the greatest, they raved about being alone. When they were alone is when they attained their knowledge that they had, attained the genius that they had. Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, you got to connect. Then you got to make the connection. It's a long drawn out process. Yeah. So let me ask you, did you ever find that sisterly love that you were looking for? Or are you still looking? Or are you not looking? Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. Because I cannot say the same. That I find the fatherly love or the brotherly love in every man that I meet. Unfortunately, I cannot speak the same. But that was such an interesting video. It was really an interesting video because it was like, even as you were saying the words, I can tell it was like a meditative thing, and it was like you breathed out these, you did this breathing even to underline, kind of like the release of energy, and then, you know, also the intake of other energy. Unfortunately, most people that I meet are. It's really bad, unfortunately, but I find this really cool. Yeah, I really got to look more into this Rudolf Steiner. I mean, that sounds like when I watched this video, that 7 minute part there. Absolutely, he's talking about the esotericism and everything. I'm always kind of, I don't know, I have always kind of been a firm believer in embracing things. Now, of course, the boundary is as long as you don't hurt somebody that you care about. And even then, if you don't care, then you don't care. It is what it is. That, but that is your own feelings toward another person. But for me, is I always try to embrace everything. I try to embrace everything because I think there is something in everything. And that's why, but it will also put me in bad positions. And exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. I will literally sit there and I will believe in a person. Just as an example, I will believe in a person so deeply that I will completely be brainwashed, manipulated, and at the end come out and be completely traumatized because I believed in that person so much and let them pretty much do this to me, because I didn't give up. I didn't give up on that person. Um, it goes like this with everything for me. But I really have to say that there is so much pain involved, yes, when it happens, and months passed, even years passed. But what I gained from this is like this. It's like I'm building this sphere inside of me, this sphere of energy that is just like so powerful and strong. And by each experience that happens, it grows, and it hardens, but in a good way. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain it. Oh shit! Ad break. Yeah, I think I'm going to, because it's interesting. I wanna do it. Um, yeah, because there's much to learn. There's much to learn, and I really I like that. I like that. I like when people think out, past just the regular stuff. But I just always hope that all of these things that I have embraced that have hurt me, but have grown this energy ball inside of me and strengthen it, that 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 maybe at the end, at the physical, what we call end, it'll do something. It'll be of worth, and not in a sense of judgment. The stupid. I mean, I can't even say stupid because we pagans have the same thing. Judgment Day, pretty much, but it in a different, in a different way. Yeah, that's cool. That's there. Yeah. That's really good. That's an evolution. That's definitely an evolution. Oh, yeah. That is always one of my problems. Fear may not be the word, but it's anxiety. 24/7. I believe that people actually here in the US they take medication for the anxiety that I have. They take medication for that, and I refuse because it is something that can be controlled if you focus on it, and if you contain it. If you meditate, you can do it, and I can, but I cannot do it right now because I'm not at peace. And that's the problem. I have to be able to be freely in my realm, be able to meditate when I need to, be able to do these certain things that be able to think without any noise around me. And I cannot do this momentarily. I have so many traumas. So many traumas that are root traumas to things now that are occurring with me. And I know this. And it's really hard because it's like an extra job. Now you have an extra job that you have to do, which is cleansing your spirit and cleansing your psyche of these traumas, right? Because I cannot afford a professional. I feel like a professional would help only so much because they don't personally know you. You know, so now it's an extra job, which is okay, but sometimes you have to put that on hold because you know your life is chaotic. You have many things going on, and you put that on hold. So I try to do a little bit every day of working on things, in invertly. Oh, that's nice. That's what I'm always trying to seek. I always try to seek, you know, to grow almost like a movement. I really, I mean, I reach for the stars. It doesn't matter. What I have nothing to lose. But to grow a movement. But it's difficult. People are afraid. People are insecure. People are embarrassed. And people are lazy and just dulled down. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, so many times it is like that where things fall. I mean, she wasn't stupid, but she was the type of person that wouldn't rely on a sense like that. But my father was all sense of that, and I inherited it from him. But I didn't realize that until recent years. And it really is like this. I look at a person for 30 minutes, and I have maybe 10-minute conversation, and then I can tell them something, and they will look at me and they will say, "How do you know that? How can you possibly know that?" And then, you know, yeah, okay. See, this is what I was gonna discuss, and this was a part of the 7-minute beginning of that 7-hour video that I watched, about exactly. He was talking about that people, they're not, when they're not ready, they're not ready. But there are people that are looking, and they need, as we call in different societies, a beacon. It is a beacon that they're subconsciously looking for. and some people never realize it ever, and they never also will find the beacon. Some people won't know until they find the beacon. It's very it goes different for everybody. It's just really weird because for me there was never a person that was a beacon. I never had that. I kind of had my awakenings on my own. Exactly, exactly. But that comes down to the like he said in the beginning of the video. He said that back in the day when we were really conscious about our spirituality, and I he said that we I mean, I'm not going to be repeating this, you know, but properly, but it was that we had the temples. We had the temples that showed, we were open about it. It was out there, and that now at the stage that we are at now, it's not like that anymore. It's more private, more, inwardly, and I cannot really remember what was said after that. But to me, it's a shame. To me, it is such a shame because things have just come so out of proportion, and I think, of course, and I hate always putting the blame on that, but Christianity had a lot to do with these problems, that we actually have now, of people being embarrassed of their beliefs, of people being embarrassed of their traditions and cultures and what they do, and even education, and he was talking about that. He was talking about, for the people that don't, the people that cannot understand and that won't understand, they look down upon this, the esoteric things that we talk about. Yeah, exactly. That's what, it's a control thing, and but I just don't understand what was the point. You know what I mean? What was the point? The reason why people fell for this crap in the first place was because it was more convenient now to just have to pray to one God. Okay, it seemed like the modern choice. It seemed like the convenient choice, besides the people that were forced into it. So it's like a 50-50 on that part. But it's like, what did it do good? Because we have now weird away so much from what was actually prosperous for all nations, for all peoples, into, you never hear any type of Christian organization speak about how they help. They, I only hear this of free companies and free enterprises, how they try to help the planet. There's never a Christian organization that goes to the ocean, collects garbage, that goes overseas to help people from, catastrophic disasters, earthly disasters. None of this stuff. It's always independent enterprises that do these things. So what in all reality has this indoctrination of these Abrahamic religions done good for the world? It has done nothing. There has come absolutely no progress in technology or anything, in anything that we do from Christianity, from the indoctrination of Christianity. Of course, that of course. But I mean, slave to what? Like, what is the purpose? I don't understand the purpose. Are they gonna use all their people then as soldiers against people like us in a war of, I don't know, religious belief freedom? Or I don't know. I just don't understand. I don't understand what was the whole point of this happening. And very much so, unfortunately, very much so, mainly in I mean, I don't know, I cannot say this for sure, but I know for sure in America it's an epidemic. It's I've never seen anything of the likes like this before. It is not like that in Europe at all. Where I was born and raised, it is not even close to anything like this. It's absolutely ridiculous what is with this church here, and how people are completely hooked, and how there's so many different denominations. What that is, I mean, it's shocking. And I'm in Florida, right? So you can imagine, I'm in the Bible Belt of the U.S. You can imagine. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's when I was still in Germany, when I lived in Europe, it was you had three types of people: Catholics, Protestants, and atheists. And I can say that 75% atheist, and the rest split between Catholic and evangelist. Not kidding. Oh yeah, Ocala. Oh my God, we performed there. I used to go to Ocala all the time. Ocala is about 30 minutes from my house. 30 minutes north from my house. Yeah. So it's like essentially somebody like me here in this is particularly in the area that I'm in, I am completely outsider. Completely. Now, as soon as you enter a big city, you know, things are very different, even in the US, right? But the way I always was in Europe, okay, I was still different because I was kind of a metalhead, right? Because you get all the normies around you. But when it came to down to religion, I was never an outsider. I was never an outsider. I was an outsider when I practiced Christianity for the year or two that I did. That where you know, I was a child, I was a teenager, and I thought God, I had found God. You know what I mean? I don't know what triggered it. I don't know what the fuck, but yeah, and that's when I was an outsider. So it is completely the opposite here in America than in Europe. Yeah, Oklawaha. Mm-hmm. Yes. I love the greenways. They're literally in right in the beginning of Ocala. They're called the greenways. That is one of the best places to go. And I cannot go because I don't have a car, you know, and I want to go all the time. And it's like, damn, you know, but yeah. Yeah, this is a good conversation. I'm glad I watched that video. I really wanted to watch it. I was like, man, I gotta watch that video. Vibes. A loosely used term nowadays too. I hate that shit. But yeah. Yeah, so what are we to do? You know, we can only try doing what we're doing, you know. You do a lot of this work yourself, obviously, and, you know, I do my thing, and that's it. And whoever floats to us, you know. But that is always also my issue. I'm a very impatient person, you know. I would like to have a huge family of people now around me at all times, you know, where we can have these conversations in these gatherings, and that's just not something that's gonna happen like that, you know. Urgh. Yeah, it does. It really does. And I really gotta say, I have made a really best friend though, in the last like couple of years. You know, finally somebody I can really say is my best friend. Because I've had people around me that I thought were my best friends, you know, and they really weren't. They really weren't. And that was one of those situations again where I was just like, I knew it the whole time, but I chose to be blind to it because I had faith in these people, because I look in these people's eyes, and I have faith, and I believe in them, and I believe that they love me, or I believe that they can love me as a friend or whatever, you know. And I was wrong. I was always wrong, man. But I have finally found a best friend where I really truly believe I am not wrong. I feel this friend cares about me. The friend does things that shows me that that friend cares, you know. Oh yeah, you know, that stuff is just like, I feel like that's often, it's like a forced thing, you know. It's like you know, um the life that I am in, the things that I do kind of demands that I grow. I gotta grow. You know, that's such a thing. Like, that's forceful to me. That's forceful. You do your actions that you want to do, that you in that moment want to do, and that's how you grow, right? Because you can't, because trust me, I'm a person of control and planning. And I am the most systematic person that, like, I mean, I could not know anybody that's more systematic than me, okay, in everything that I do. From folding my laundry to doing the dishes to doing everything in my life, I have a complete system to everything and every little tiny detail of my life. But I can know that when it comes to spiritual growth, and I hate using that word spiritual, because I said that before, people use that term so loosely they have no fucking idea what they're talking about. But for your growth of your inside, your soul growth, you sometimes have to just completely not think and go with the flow. You should usually really always just live in the present, right? But being systematic and living in the present is hard, but it's something that I'm trying to manage inside myself, you know. But when it comes to spiritual growth, I like to just tread anywhere. I like to tread anywhere and see. I don't like to demand myself, today you must meditate. No, oftentimes these things, it comes in the spare moment, like, okay, I should meditate now. And then I do it, and then it's the best experience, you know. Setting a schedule is perfect, but when it comes to growth like that, I don't think it's a good idea. It has not really ever worked for me well. Your avatar? No, that's good though. That's good. That's it when it comes to spirit. Well, when it comes to spiritual growth, not with your household chores, but spiritual growth, you know. Yeah. So, you know, that's what I say in my. I don't know if you've ever went on my Sect of the Dragon Facebook, but I have my mission statement and my statement of what my sect is about. And that's one of those things, the biggest thing to always know is that we always grow. This whole thing is about evolution. And it is true. When you said earlier, you said that your character has really changed, or the way you are now, you have really changed. I can say the same. I am extroverted. I've always been extroverted, but I have become so much more introverted. And it's funny because my brother was always very introverted, and my brother has kind of flipped a little bit more to the extroverted side as well, right? So we have kind of flipped places a little bit. But it's like I there was a point in my life where it just kind of snapped, and it was not really even anything. It just totally snapped, and it was a few years back, and I became a complete observer. And I was never an observer. I was a person that I didn't observe shit. I just went in there and I did my thing. And like this, pretty much. And then suddenly I became an observer. And suddenly I saw the world through these different eyes. And it was like, I like this. I like doing this here and just looking and not saying anything. Just looking and listening, instead of blah, blah, and it has helped me. It has helped me, but it has also put me in shittier positions now, because I observe so much. I see so much that I dislike, and so much that I strive not to be, that it can be sometimes distracting, and sometimes the negativity can kind of like take over a little bit, you know what I mean, and be and it absorbs me a little bit, and it's not good. But also a thing that I gotta learn to control. Oh wow, only 18 months ago. That's crazy. Yeah, cause yeah, see that part in my life when it came to me, there was this part. My mother always had like something to say about me, that there there was something like systemically like wrong when it comes to my ego, right? My mother always said this, that I seemingly had a selfish thing, and then there were a couple of things that occurred to me, and then I had this. I really can't really call it an awakening, because it was not really spiritually. It was really just realizing that, okay, I should not be going through the world like this. I had heard my brother for many years, um, you know, because of my selfishness. I was very selfish. Never when it came to my partners. I sacrificed everything for my partners. I sacrificed my relationship with my mother. I sacrificed my relationship to my brother for partners. And then one day I realized, I think it was the day where I moved out of my my own trailer that I was living in with my boyfriend at the time, and I saw my brother carrying my bed over the fence to the trailer where all three of us had lived in previously, where my mother and my brother still resided, but I had since moved out and lived with my boyfriend. And when I saw my brother do this, and I think my mom said something to me, and she said to me something along the lines of, your brother is so fed up with you always dating somebody. You're never by yourself. You're always dating somebody. They always treat you like shit. It always turns out badly. And look what your brother is still doing. He's still helping you move. He's still moving this bed for you right now, back over to our side. And that was huge. That was huge when she said that. Yeah, and that's another good topic. The self-love thing, right? I was literally taught that at a very early age in school. In like well, you Americans would call it middle school. In middle school in Germany, there was at some point, because European teachers, they're not just people that teach. They're also people that are very much like they how do you say that, they have to literally undergo an educational process at the university that focuses solely on social work, on psychological and social work with children and young adults, right? They cannot be just teachers. Like here in America, it's like, oh, okay, you did fucking like whatever for a year, you're a teacher now. No, you have to be completely trained in like psychological matters with children, in social matters with children, etc., etc. That's why, these teachers are just better, so it's a part of the failed school system in the United States. We know how it is here, anyway. So there was that one teacher, and I cannot remember which one it was, but I want to say it was my my teacher in biology that threw that at me one day, talking about like you gotta love yourself, right? You gotta love yourself first. If you cannot love yourself first, then you cannot love anybody else. Okay. Oh my God, thank you for subscribing. Thank you. Oh, that's so awesome. Yes. There you go. I said that yesterday. That's my salesperson strategy right here. Subscribe so you don't have to see ads. So, that person, I think it was him, and his name was Mr. Goethe. And oh my God, we kids picked on that poor man so much, but he was a good teacher, and he had that look in his eye, that look of, he understood. He was not happy, but he understood us acting like fucking assholes, right? Because he had like a bald patch on his head, and his hair was growing long, though. He's got what we call a skullet, right? He had a skullet instead of a mullet, a skullet, right? And he would have and he would always wear these cargo vest. He's a biology teacher. I mean, you can't even believe what I was saying, but it's true. These the cargo vest, and he always had this little comb in his pocket, and so he had his fucking, and then he had his little comb, and then he would comb that fucking hair over over his fucking bald spot. You cannot do this in front of pubescent fucking, that's what I think it's called, 13-year-old kids. They're gonna tear you apart, right? So we tore him apart. But I believe he was the one, and I'm like 13 or 14 at the time, and he says this to me, and I'm like, whatever, Mr. Goethe, whatever. I'm just laughing like an asshole. I'm like, you're so full of shit. And I did never understand it. That fucking sentence was always in my head, and it always resonated. And I never understood it. And the one day, years later, it was, of course, some type of relationship thing that occurred. And it was like, bam! I wish I could remember what scenario was there that made this trigger, but something happened, and I sat there, and it was such a revelation. And that, I really think, was not just the psyche, but it was also spiritual, because it was a complete revelation. I was like, oh my God, 20 years later, I finally understand what he was talking about, what my teacher was talking about. And I think it was a time where somebody else must have said something that triggered that thought to come back or whatever. But I think it had something to do with self-harm. I was self-harming myself, and then there was something, and then I realized, and I was like, oh my God, like, And then the world already shifted and totally changed. Suddenly everything changed. Now, then you meet somebody and you revert back, right? That's always the fucking issue. It's like the yo-yo effect with a diet. It's really exactly, I feel like it's the same effect. So so then it happened again. I had, and then it was so weird because then I had this time where I really went through this phase where I believed that I have to love everybody, and that love is the only way. And even if the persons treat you badly, you must love them. Almost like a Jesus complex, right? But I was not Christian anyway at the time. But I had this really weird and strong feeling. It was such an amazing and euphoric feeling that I had about this. And it served me really well, actually. But then I got with another guy, and he completely destroyed me from inside out. He was probably the worst, because he did not just physically abuse me, but he also psychologically and mentally abused me. He was a former Marine. That was his profession in the Marine Corps, pretty much, right? To break somebody completely down psychologically. And that's what he did with me over almost 2 years. To the point where I look at pictures of myself from then, and I look at myself, I'm like, what the fuck was I wearing? What was I doing? And it was really a huge thing that occurred. Hi, Promethean. It was one of the most significant things in my life, and this only happened about like 7 or 8 years ago. Yeah. And there is so much to it, because it was so, I mean, unbelievable. Because and then it's not just that you now you went through all this. Now you were left with the trauma of what somebody else has done to you. On top of it, because of the person that I am, the conscious as well as self-conscious person that I am, I'm thinking to myself, wow, was I fucking stupid? I must not be smart. I must be completely unintelligent for somebody to be able to do this to me. Right? So now you're struggling with that, And so this has been a process. This still till this day is something that I struggle with. Sometimes I have to catch myself of my thoughts that I have. You know what I mean? Because of what he did to me. Right. So, and of course, talking to people, things like these, it helps. But what really helped me and has helped me is reading. Because when I read about these things, it really kind of like it anchors in me, right? Because I read this, I really take this in silently, and it sticks by me. And my whole point of this was the self-love thing. This is the thing. I can say that I'm almost content with myself, except for a couple of things. But it's like an actual love for myself. I cannot fathom that. That's like the satanic way, pretty much. The Delta Melanchthon speaks all about it. Like, you gotta love yourself. And it's like, how do I even do that? I take care of myself. At least, I try to the best of my ability, to as much as I want to. But what does it mean to love yourself? I understood that when it came to relationship. When it came to the love yourself, it's more like you got to know your worth. That was the thing. You got to know your worth in order to be able to be in a relationship, right? Because if they make you feel worth, you got to know your worth. And I think that's what happened. Also, partially like self-love. Like I said, I was self-harming and all of these things and all that stuff. But like deeply really loving yourself, like, how do you do that? I don't get it. Okay, so now I am already at that point. But I don't, maybe I'm just not, maybe my interpretation of the word love in that sense is not the same as everybody else. I just call it self-care, right? I must do this for myself, and I know this for my psychological, mental well-being. I must do certain things, and my logic and my observation and my thinking, my critical thinking shows me all of the proof that I need to know what I need to do. I don't know if that's anything with love. I mean, you know, I guess love is subjective most of the time, I guess, right? I mean, how else? That's just how it is. But the way I love, it's forever. It's fucking forever. When I really love, it's forever. And I have never met anybody besides my mother and my brother that can reciprocate this to me. Never. Never a man. Maybe now a friend, Promethean, but never in a romantic relationship. Never. A cat, my cats love me. My cats, my brother, my friend, my mother. That's it. I have never experienced true love from a man to me. Because is it because I have my own subjective opinion on what that is? It's a problem because I guess I expect that person to love me just the way that I would love them. But no, because to me it comes down to the word unconditional. Unconditional. And I don't mean by unconditional, I don't necessarily mean like I can do whatever the fuck I want and you better be okay with it and love me. That's not what I mean. That means like when times are hard, that you will be there by my side. That I don't have to tell you, how to help me, how to take care of me, how to soothe me. If I can reach the point where I don't have to tell you how you're supposed to love me, because if I have to tell you that, then I can already know. If I have to tell me you should be calling and texting me, then you don't love me, then you don't think about me. You are not thinking of me or about me. So then it's just now I'm forcing you. Now I'm indoctrinating. Now I'm forcing you to do something that you would not do on your own. It's got to come natural. It's got to come natural. These things got to come natural. No arguing, respect and embracement and I know what true love is supposed to be like. I know what it's supposed to be like. Love your damn self. Yeah, your wife. See, that's why she's your wife. It was meant to be like that because that person was meant to be. Because that person's doing that. Because probably no other person would do this but her. That is what we say fate, of course. No, and I get that, but what does it mean to love yourself first? I as selfish as I always was, apparently I've always loved myself first. But I always still do. I don't care about myself first. I do. I have to care about myself first in order for anything to happen in my life. I have to go to bed early because I have to work the next day, because I have to make money so I can pay my electricity bill, so I can be on here and stream. That is just an example of what is my thought process. I have to go to work, so I have to go to bed early. I have to eat some spinach today because I have a lack of vitamin C in my body. Is this love? Or is this just like you want to keep your body alive, right? What is self-love? Okay, okay. Okay. Then I do love myself, I guess. Yeah, I guess I do because I do try to set these boundaries to not get hurt. And it took me a long time now in recent occurrences to set these certain boundaries, but I have now set them, and hopefully, there's going to be some fruition sometime soon, but it was another thing that I learned from, another mistake that I made. And the mistake, it was not a mistake. It was well thought out with the backing of, I believe this person, can be good in this situation and can treat me well in this situation, and failed. Even so, I knew, because of teachings of my mother and then experiences for myself, I knew. But I try to give everybody a fair chance. I try to see every person that I meet. Even so, I hate humanity as a whole. We've covered this many times. I do dislike humans. What they do, what they have done to each other, to the world, mainly to the earth, to Mother Nature. I hate them. But if you are in my direct vicinity, I give you always, the first thing is the benefit of the doubt that I have now infused you with my hope that you can be not one of these people. Because I am never going to place my past traumas that I have endured from other people or my observation of what other people have done or are doing onto you. I will never do it. Now, if you're somebody I don't know, somebody at work street, I'm going to assume you're garbage. But if you are in front of me, I want to assume that you can be, or that you are, somebody that thinks higher. And that's the problem. But it's the simple thing. The what do they say? The princess has to kiss so many frogs tend to find her prince, right? And that's exactly the same principle. I have to give so many people a chance in order then to finally find these certain specific people. And that's very also a very much of an interesting point, because I can already know something about myself that I've only realized with this last relationship, or this relationship, is that I myself change, right? Because of past trauma, I suddenly change my behavior because like my partner is imposing a certain way on me, okay? Not doing it for the same purpose as my past partner that left me with the trauma, but now my subconscious and my psychological is interpreting this, because of the trauma, as the same thing that my old partner tried to do. So now my self protection sets in and I start acting a certain way that is not me, as a way of protection. Okay? And that is the thing. And that is not just from past trauma, but it's also something that I have realized, and that I have realized in probably the past 2 relationships I've been in, that I have never been in a relationship where I was able to be entirely myself. Because either I was ridiculed, I was oppressed from being myself, I was controlled, I was manipulated, or I was physically harmed. I was never able to be me. I was always supposed to tune it down. right? Too much, too loud, too fast, too crazy, whatever they wanted to call it. It was always something like that. Is that love? That's not love. Because if you love me, you're going to take me exactly as I am. Exactly as I am. Even if I harm myself, you're going to, you don't have to love that, but you're going to sit there and you're going to help me through that. Because if you love me, you're going to help me through that. You know, because that's part of me. That's just an example. You know what I mean? What does that mean? Like offline from relationships? Right. No, because it's like, I see it. I am so much like my mother. I have like this motherly thing about me where I see that I must really, that in my past. Oh yeah. In my past relationships that I've had, and I can really only say there was like one or two where I actually was selfish, where I did not like, I really genuinely did not care that much about the person, so I really didn't do jack shit for that person. I didn't care, and I was selfish and everything. But most of my relationships have, and because of me doing this in past relationship, I made myself this promise. I was not going to be like this anymore, because, you know, that's fucked up. How can you be a good partner if you're selfish, and if, you know, not, I'm not an abusive person at all, but just not caring, you know? I was not caring. So I promised myself then I would never do this again. I will be the best partner that I can possibly be, and do everything and anything in my possibility for my partner, for them to be happy, for them to be comfortable, for them to be without worry, because I know how it is to be with worry all the time. So, and that was never reciprocated. In the process, I lose myself, I lose my own character, and it just becomes this whole fucking whirlpool of shit, pretty much. You know what I mean? So I truly believe when there is true what do you call it, mutual love for each other, when you're in a relationship, in a partnership with somebody, and you each love each other, and there's mutual love, then these things will come naturally, because that's what I was taught. That's what I have observed in my life with relationships, my grandparents, my parents. Things will come absolutely natural. And I've had glimpses of that, you know. But then, with these glimpses, I mess that up most of the time. The glimpses, I mess them up. And I can't even say mess them up, really, but it just, you know. And then there it goes. And then the next guy is an abuser. Or the next three guys. And then there's another guy. Now you get a glimpse. And I'm like, up. Moving on. Damn it. There was the... God damn it, Dragana. The glimpse. What the hell? Why did you do that? Now you're getting, you know... Yeah, so it's really... It's hard. It's difficult. And you know what? It is actually so weird that that's what she called you, because I have called my partner this many times. Reason why? Because I say yes and yes and yes to everything. Any requests, yes, 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 yes. And then there comes the time where I say no. And my partner will stomp his foot and be pissy and aggravated and bitch and slam doors. And then I sit there and I feel guilty. The first 10 times and I say nothing, and I feel just bad, and my anxiety and my heart is racing. I'm like, I did this wrong. I should have not said no. I should have not said no. And then finally, when my true self breaks free, I sit there and then I realize you have been spoiled by me. Because I have said yes to you always. You have never appreciated it, but that's secondary. But the time I say no, you act like this. That's where I know that you are a spoiled child. This is it. This is really it. Oh, well. That would be, I guess, a mature reaction that I'm not really familiar with anymore at this point. Oh, and then you raged. Oh, great. You had me think. Oh, so you don't do it right away. You don't rage right away. You rage later? Oh, God, no. I feel bad for your wife. Suddenly, like, I want. We were at that store like 3 hours ago. What the fuck? Oh, okay. Okay, got you. Yeah, well, yeah, but see, this is the thing too. Is it? That's the thing that. Okay, so that's a whole nother thing. Now, that is the temperament that is inside of me of the Serbian, okay? Because I've said many times before, we Germans are very calm and collected. We are very, we're not these type of people, these big people. We are like this, but I'm half. So my other half is not like this. My other half is, right? So one thing that is so lame but so true is really that you cannot control what other people do, but you can always control how you react to it, right? Even so, if people, that's more about a self-discipline thing, right? You must self-discipline, okay? And it is, for me, it is a sort of, for years, I've been making myself so I can try to be very disciplined. I try not to yell, right? I try not to anything of a sort. I try never. It falls rather easy for me to not use any like profane words toward another person, but I will use terms like child or something like that, right? Now, you use that word, but the what if the partner calls you a cunt when you called him a child? That's, in my opinion, the partner does not have control. I have controlled myself. I have controlled now my reaction, because that's what it is. Is it really worth it anymore to sit there and blow up and freak out and scream and do whatever? I was never a person that was throwing shit or anything like that or breaking stuff. I'm not like, I'm aggressive in a way, in like a verbal way, but in a visual way very much. I will give you the looks, right? I got that from my father, from the Serbian side. It is what it is. But physically, never like that, ever, not even with objects or something. If I am, then it has to do with me. Then it has solely to do with me. I'm angry at myself. And that has not happened in years, that I actually break something or hit something or whatever because I'm angry with myself. It hasn't happened in years, right? So that's growth, I guess. That's progress. So, but it's like, Americans have the saying, pick your battles. And I really can relate to that. We don't really have a saying like that in Germany. And I really like that. I couldn't understand that saying for the longest time. As I got older, I understood the saying, pick your battles. Do you want to get upset because your partner ate something out of the fridge was yours? Or do you want to get upset that your partner cheated on you, right? Like, I mean, I guess this is not the best example, I guess. But you know what I mean? It's like, I can always tell my partner, I can deal with anything that you throw at me. But there are just certain things I cannot deal, and it's abuse of any sort, disrespect, and lying. These are the three that I cannot deal with. And these are also the three that are really hard to understand and to figure out if they're actually occurring. The you know, are you interpreting this as lying, or are you interpreting this as disrespect, or is this actually disrespect? So that's why it's easy for people that are good at manipulating, brainwashing, and gaslighting to confuse you in that sense. You see what I mean? Is this actually abuse? Somebody calling you a bitch, you just think to yourself, maybe I was being a no. I thought for myself the longest time, maybe I'm being a bitch. And finally I said to myself, no, I'm not being a bitch. And I have people, literally, they've heard arguments. I have people that have been around, the people that understand, they're like, Dragana, no, you're not. You don't need to be treated this way. You didn't do anything wrong. Okay. That is, if I have more, because I am the first person, I will always look at myself first. Always, always, always. And then I will straight up ask my brother, do you think I overreacted here? Do you think? No, not at all. Oh, okay. And my brother's the first person. My brother is the first person that will look at me and be like, yeah, you were being a bitch. You know what I mean? And then I'll be like, oh, damn. But when my brother says to me, no, then I can know that he's right. Who said hey? Hi, Nicola. How are you? Oh, thank you, Promethean. Thank you. I waited. I know. Weird is I was gonna say prescribed to me. That's what I should say. Prescribed to me. Subscribe to me so he doesn't get the ads. But I know you get it. So I just sat there and said nothing. But it's like, okay, so the end of this rant. I want to say hi again, Nicola, for coming in. Yeah, right. For the prescription. So the end of the story, really, of myself fucking issues, drama in my life right now. It wouldn't let you subscribe. So the issue is like, there's really nothing. When you have trauma, you should be by yourself and work this trauma out. And I'm not talking about you cannot be dating somebody or be with somebody. That's not what I'm saying, because I think you can very well still do this. But you have to be alone in your space. You have to have the option to be entirely alone so you can go within yourself, inwardly, inside of yourself, at your choosing, and you do not have to respond, or you do not have to be distracted by any type of outside noise, right? And that's my point in my life where I'm at right now, right? Because I think I have lost so many years of my life never really finding myself entirely, right? I found all these bits and pieces and I have sewn them all together. It looks like this, and that's not it. The entirety of the transformation, where it all flows together and now the seams vanish, has not come. And there was a huge halt put to it, of course, because of my parents' death, especially my father, who was very hard on me for multiple different reasons. But it fucking really, really tore down. It tore shit down. that I had built up. Like a huge thing that I had built up had now been fucking ripped down. And I'm like, fucking god damn it. And I have to start all over again. And I have to start all over again. But I don't have to start from nothing because I've gathered so much knowledge, right? So I can now apply all this knowledge again. You know, so... But it's just work. It's so much work. And I feel like I'm getting old. And I feel like time is flying. But it doesn't matter. What else is there to do anyway? What else is there to do anyway? Oh, okay. Yeah. You know, and that's now that's so crazy. Like, she's a therapist and everything, right? So, because it's like, me, I like to think of myself as somebody that, you know, I'm a psychic in these things and I can know. So now here I am, and that is overanalyzing. My mother always said, you can analyze things, but you can also overanalyze things. And if you overanalyze things, you destroy them. You can overanalyze friendships, you can overanalyze relationships, and you will then subsequently destroy them because of that. And that's the problem, right? And that is something that I'm very good or bad at. You know what I'm saying? I will overanalyze a person because of past trauma, not because I'm a therapist, because I'm a psychic and I have past trauma. So now I will overanalyze the shit out of you. I have completely stopped doing that. I don't do that anymore. Well, of course, I catch myself, but I put a stop. My thoughts are going, and then I stop. You're doing it again, Dragana, stop. And I stop. And it's a training process, right? Because then I stop for 30 minutes, and then I do it again, and I stop myself again, right? You train your brain. The breaks in between get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then you have completely mastered it, and you stop. Okay? Yeah, but you gotta be honest. You know, you gotta be honest. You always honesty is the biggest thing. Honesty is the biggest thing. I always hate this. I think this is something that occurred in my life often, is that people around me, they tend to be, for some reason, intimidated, and they will not tell me the truth. They will not tell me the truth. They rather talk behind my back because they're intimidated by me. Problem is, it's like, I'm not intimidating. You're intimidated by me. There's a difference. I open my arms to you. I open myself to you. And the fact that you're intimidated, that's on you, right? That, why are you using this against me? You know, embrace it. Learn from me, right? Be honest with me. I want people to be always honest with me. I like this because when a person is honest with me, they're not afraid of me. I hate when people are afraid of me. People are intimidated and afraid of me all the time, and it bothers me. I don't want that. I want people to be able to look me eye in eye and tell me. Because then I can respect you better. Then I can know, okay, this is a real person. This is a person with character, you know. Oh no, I'm sorry. Oh, I can't really see that message. I can't really see that message, to be honest. Um Nicola, but I can look later if once I'm done streaming here, I'll take a look at that message. And paint and read. Yes. So I shall. No, I really have to, you know, that's something that I've been doing, and that's what I said earlier. I think you weren't in the stream yet, Promethean, but one of those things that's really been helping me so much through all of this shit is reading. You know, reading has that's why I haven't been painting, because I've been reading. You know, and it's like, and it's so weird because it always comes full circle, man. It always comes full circle. Like my mom always said, read more books, read more books. Oh, when I was like in my teens, I was never into reading. I hated it. It bored me. I thought it was stupid. No, I didn't think it was stupid, but I was like, I can't get into it. And as I got older, I finally got into it, and it has always helped. Painting. I finally started painting like masterpieces pretty much now that my mom has passed. Because I finally listened. I finally sat there and said to myself, you know what? I got to do this now. That's what my mother always told me to do. I got to do this. This is the right thing to do. This is the only thing to do. What else am I supposed to do? I'm not good for anything else. I am, when it comes to skill-wise, you know what I mean? I try to protect the environment. I do things, I'm not good, I don't love myself, not that way. But it's like, that's my calling. I gotta do this, and I did it, and I'm still doing it, and I'm getting better as I do it. Well, now I've been taking a break, but yeah, it's these things aren't easy, Nicola. They're not easy things. No, but it's all part of it. I really think it's all part. I think that all of this is already in the fate, right? And I believe that you can change these things still, but that the outcome at the end will be the same. You see what I mean? You can change your story as you walk towards your destiny, but you can never change the outcome. The outcome is already, it is what it is. And yeah, and I think it's the equalization. It's literally like you have to work. I truly believe in the teachings of Helena Blavatsky and how she speaks about that your spiritual journey is when you die, what happens to your spirit will be determined by how raised your spiritual knowledge and your spiritual freedom and your evolution of your spirit was at the time of your death. That's so cool. We got a text. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check your message later. But yeah, so I don't know. So I really have a feeling that everything that we do is for reasons. I think that everything that happens, the law of one. I've heard of something like that. What is that? I feel like I've heard this. God, my lips are so dry again. And I keep pulling on them. From the 1980s? The Law of One. I feel like I've heard of this. The social memory complex. It's almost like a mass hysteria. At least that's like the first thing that pops in my head. See, that's the thing. That's the collective consciousness. Okay. That's it's I love when people talk about shit that I just read about so I can like actually put in like the true, the belief in the Delamelanicon of the Satanists is that yeah, the sun god Ra, yeah, is that Lucifer is also is the morning star, the shining light, is also aligned with Venus, okay? And that we really are, we're not separate. As we look at, we see the molecules, they look separate than us. We believe there's separation, blah, 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 but that everything is all one, right? That shit is so, it's, no. Mm-mm. That I do not believe. I believe that we all have the same energy flow within us, okay? This magic that we can project, that we can use, we have that in us. And that is something that connects us all, okay? I believe that 100%. But the fact of the matter is that literally people have blocked this out. Most people consciously blocked this from even coming through. A lot of people subconsciously blocking it from coming through, and they have blocked it so much that it is no longer even, that the flame that burns in them, the dark flame, is pretty much extinguished to nothing. There's nothing but ashes, and it will remain ashes because these people will never be able to reignite that flame. And that is definitely a separation. We are separate when it comes to people, because everything else besides humans, because our conscience is the biggest conscience of all of the creatures. So so we think, whatever, as of right now, the fact that we literally subconsciously and consciously block this out makes us in an entirety just unnatural and disgusting little creatures. And we do not fall in line with order of nature, because no animal, no plant, not even any kind of physical object around you forces anything of a sort to happen, of any kind of flow of energy or magic or whatever you want to call it, that flows through them to stop. No, it just is. Like you said in your video, I am. Everything just is, except for so many humans. Most of the billions of humans on this planet, they are forcing themselves to be something that they are not. To not be conscious. These people are separate from us. These people are people of abusers, violent people, murderers, rapists. They are separate. People that have no that just act on compulsion. People that act on entire compulsion, and then that compulsion hurting others purposely and purposefully, and they have extinguished their flame. They are separate from us. They're not part of us. That's why I can never agree. I can never sit here, because that once again brings me back to the teachings of the Bible that are so wrong, in my opinion, about the Jesus complex. There are people in this world that they are not people, they want to push this agenda of everybody is deserving of stuff. No, they're not. There are people on this planet that are not deserving of anything, and the only thing that they are deserving of is the worst that they can possibly get. And is it because of a mental disease? Sometimes yes. Then these people, okay, they have a mental disease, they have a psychological disease, okay, but there are actually people that have no psychological proven diseases and still act upon violent and destructive compulsion. Christians call them evil. They are just not in order with nature. They're out of order. They're out of sorts. They're disconnected from the black flame that shines within people like us, for instance. And exactly weird. And that's exactly what Helena Blavatsky says. Pretty much the more you teach yourself spiritually, the more you educate yourself spiritually, the more chances there when you pass, that when your spirit releases out of your mortal shell, that it can actually stick together, that the molecules of your spirit and soul can be released as one entirety into the universe, versus these people of irredeemable compulsions. They will just completely disperse. They will have no chance of collecting their molecules of their spirit, of rebirth, of whatever could come next. There's no given chance. They have completely lost any chance of anything of the sort. I can say the same. I can say the same about some things, but not about this, because guys, you're gonna have to give me 1 minute, because you know what? I have to follow nature's call real quick. Okay, so I'll be right back, and I want to know about that what you did. Maybe you just type it in chat. I'll be like less than 2 minutes. I'll be right back. Okay. Oh, thank you. Carthranus? Good, good. How are you doing? I'm back. Sorry, guys. Nature calls. This down a little bit. Thank you for following, Kay. Oh, okay. So into a bunch of pieces, right? It was a controlled experience. Okay. But okay, so you have an understanding of what I was saying. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's an interesting thought. That's an interesting thought to think, could you possibly I think about that. Okay, see, this is what I think about. When it comes to incarnations, I think to myself, so if there were such a thing as being reincarnated, we don't know, possible, whatever. Um, what if I were to be reincarnated? People like to say these lame things like as a tree or a squirrel. No, I think to myself, what if I were to be reincarnated as a child that is going to be born into homelessness, for instance? What if I were to be born a child that was being raped by a guardian or parent frequently? What if I was born into somebody, a child that would be, have cancer? I think about these things all the time. And when I think about, these type of things, then these are the times where I put my feet on the ground and I look around myself and I think to myself, there's like there's a reason why this is not the case with me. And I'm not saying, oh, God or the gods, none of that shit. But I am not there. All I can know is I am not there. And the fact that I'm not in that position right now is something to think about. That's all I'm trying to say. That is really something really significant to consider. You know what I mean? Hey, Florida Metal, how are you? It's been a while since you've been in here. But you could also look at it in a different way, Weird. You could also look at it as in, like, that is something that has shaped you or is still shaping you into something. But also sometimes, people like to say, God doesn't dish out any more than somebody can handle. But it's kind of like, it's almost like you got to take in that sense, like, take the power away from the God or whatever, but just think to yourself, like, I can handle this. I am handling this. Can this person handle this? I think that way about situations of internal strain that have really, uh, you know, they have torn me apart. Can the next person handle it? And oftentimes it's like a 50-50. It's either no, that person can't, or that person can handle this glamorously, right? Because we're all so different people. You know what I mean? I know, Flower Metal, I know. that's a very, very good point, Kay, if I can call you that, because um, Udo von List speaks about this. That also Blavatsky, I believe, she speaks of this too. Is where you get reincarnated because you have not accomplished a certain goal in your previous life. So you will be reincarnated, a spiritual goal in a sense, reincarnated and reincarnated and reincarnated until you reach this goal. Okay, that is a firm belief in by the past occultists that they had. So it is a necessity in a sense that you get reincarnated, and it falls in line, and it follows with pretty much the Norse, that you get reincarnated until pretty much the gods decide that now you have entered Valhalla. Now it's over. Or the circumstances decide that, okay, now you're done. You're not going to be reincarnated anymore. You're just going to dwell here now. You know what I mean? And for me, this is one of these things where I am absolutely clueless. I have never had a feeling on this. What I have had was deja vus or dreams that had me in this sense and saying, okay, okay. Through meditation or anything like this, I have never had this feeling or a connection to a past life or thoughts of a past life, besides, like I said, the dreams and deja vus that I had. And those were now, deja vu is something that we have done this before. Literally, it was like I had the same in the same area with just a slight tiny difference in the deja vus as well as the dreams throughout my life, which leads me to believe that it is rather a dimensional thing once again, interdimensional, multidimensional thing for all of us. Then so it is really more something scientific than we believe, than we know, right? Because we call it spiritual, we call it previous lives, but our spirits just interdimensional beings that travel and enter mortal shells at their bidding, at their times, at their dimensions, at their places. You see? I think I've astral projected like a handful of times, I'd say. Or densities. Very good, very good. That is something that, for instance, hi Serenity. Thank you for joining. A knowledge game. Knowledge game is good. Well, what I was gonna say, there are these reports all over the world that my mother talked to me about when she was still alive. Hi, Marcia, good to see you. It's about the fact that the my mother was a woman of science, always, but always a witch, always a shaman, and she always said this words. My mother was not a person that was into the occult and things like that at all, but she would always say, I know this, and I would have been burned at the stake in the Middle Ages as a witch. It was always her sentence, and she was always right. Everything my mother always ever said was right. You could ask my brother, he will verify this, he will validate this, always. And it was bizarre, right? And I was like, that's not normal, Mom. I would have been burned at the stake in the Middle Ages as a witch. She always said that. And it was this thing that she always did say, there are things between the heaven and the earth, or the skies. In German, heaven and sky is the same word, Himmel. there are things between the sky and the earth that are not explainable. And I say that are not explainable yet. We've talked about this yesterday. But see, okay, so that brings me to the thing. There was this time where she was doing some major, like, looking into stuff. I remember it, and she would tell me about these stories that she was reading on in newspapers, old newspapers, etc., of people just disappearing, literally from the face of the earth. About one woman that the whole family, her husband, the multiple kids, they got into a car to go on a trip. She got out of the car. She went around the car for something, and suddenly she was gone. And her husband was like, "Where's she?" Completely disappeared. My mother said she had read dozens of reports of this happening to people, that they just have disappeared completely from the face of the earth. But literally, like, in front of other people, just gone. They vanished. Not like, abducted by people or, not even like abduction of aliens. None of that. Just disappeared. She could never explain it. She always talked about her belief in the different dimensions. That there were different dimensions. And we have recently figured out that there are different dimensions. We cannot make it up but we have pretty much found the molecules that say, yes, different dimensions are possible, or they're there, or something along those lines, right? So, let me read all that real quick. It's been a while, Marcia. I know. Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, that's interesting. That's an interesting thought. That you just disappear? It is something really rare. It's something. Oh, thank you. I am half German and half Serbian. That's so sweet. so so and then there was this audiobook that she told me about too. It was called The Jesus Tape. And as soon as she said the name, The Jesus Tape, I was like, The Jesus Tape? What is that? And my mother was very into reading like religious things in that sense. Just, but it was more for entertainment for her. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna use paper for that one. Yep. Am I hearing a cat? Is it my Twitch? I don't know. Something. Okay, wait. Assyrian. Interesting. Wow, okay. Okay, so the Jesus tape. So about a tape, it's found, and it's literally, it's pretty much, the story is, in its essence, is about a man that is able to go back in time and record Jesus on a video recorder. And then this tape is found in the sands of Israel. All right, Mr. Weird, thank you so much. It was so awesome talking to you. This was amazing. I'm probably gonna leave soon myself, but have a good night. Thank you for everything, and I'm gonna definitely watch some of your videos when I have time. I will. I'm interested. Have a good night. Yeah, so this is the thought behind. Oh, and thank you for subscribing too. People subscribe, please. That can help us build our community. But so yeah, just think about that thought, right? Being able to jump back in time with your video camera and record Jesus. Like record Odin. record these things that we oftentimes understand. Okay, it wasn't all like this, but there was always like an essence of truth to these things. So to be able to jump back and record the facts in front of your face, like, wouldn't that be something? And I like to think of these things. I like to think of, when we talk about these things, for instance, time travel, that it is literally, momentarily, scientifically, and mathematically, it's not possible, right? It's not possible because the human body cannot endure it. Like, I feel like we can probably find out technologically how to do that, but our biological matter couldn't withstand the trip either way, right? Back or forth. And so it's like, I like to think that we could, if so our advancement allows, be part of the generation that is still alive when time travel is made possible. The progress we have made in the last 20 years is unprecedented. No other generations have made that much progress that fast technologically in any other time of the world. Yes, I am, Marcia. So, because I'm affiliate now, it's all about bits. So you can, I don't know if you can see, oh no, you're on Facebook, so you can't see it. So, for anybody that wants readings, they have to be on Twitch. They have to make a Twitch channel, and they have to spend bits to get readings, okay? And the bits are 200 bits for a 1-card reading, 500 bits for a 3-card reading, and 1,200 bits for a 10-card reading. So it pops up in the chat frequently, but you can only probably see it when you're in the Twitch chat. What is the bit rate on readings? But it is rather easy to make a Twitch account, and Twitch is really just way better. Okay, so you know Twitch, the platform, the streaming platform Twitch? Because if you install Twitch, you can do it on your phone or your computer. It's the same as Facebook or any other platform, really. And then you can see me live stream. So if you install the Twitch software, then you can spend bits. It's really easy. As soon as you have the software installed and you have your profile, it's just like Facebook. You get your little profile on the top right, and then right next to it, it says get bits, and you just click on that, and that's how you get bits, and then it'll tell you how you can spend them. But you have to be on the Twitch platform in order for me to now be able to give readings, because I take bits now in exchange for readings. I know it's a lot. Hi, Jimmy. How are you? Thanks for joining the room. So yeah, these are all these things that we really need to put in consideration. That oftentimes a lot of people will sit there and they will speak of things are so bad and things are just horrible, and things are horrible when it comes to our natural progress and our natural development, because we're destroying this planet, right? Like, that is the main thing, and it's awful, and everybody needs to stop. Everybody needs to make a conscious effort. Every single person of us needs to make a conscious effort of limiting their pollution. Don't throw your shit out of your car window. Use a trash can. Fucking, just simple things like that, where you should be just an adult and mature enough to do that, right? Okay, so you have to make a Twitch account, and you have to join Twitch so you can spend bits, which you can only obtain when you have a Twitch account. And then I can give you a reading. It's 200 bits for a 1-card reading, 500 bits for a 3-card reading, and 1,200 bits for a 10-card reading. And once you make your Twitch account, you can see on to the right on your little profile picture, get bits. And then you can get bits, and then you can use those bits to spend them on readings from me. And I appreciate you. I appreciate your follow. I appreciate your subscription. I appreciate anything and everything. You can also spend crystals, which are channel points. The more you watch me on Twitch, the more channel points you gain, and you can cash those in. You can cash the crystals in for me playing a tune on the guitar, me showing you an item off my altar. You can cash those crystals and bits for using my emotes that I have designed myself. That depends. It depends on how many you want to buy. You can buy as little or as many as you want. So it's like, let's see, I had it written down. 95 bits is $1.99. $95 bits is $1.99. So yeah, we must always look at the progress, and we must be $2. 95 bits is roughly $2. Yes, I am streaming on YouTube as well. Correct. $1.99. 95 bits equal $1.99 in dollars. $95 bits, yeah, equal $1.99. $2 roughly. So it's like, okay, so the rough estimate is like $4 for 1-card reading. That's okay, so yeah, because Twitch pretty much takes half of anything that I make. Yeah, so anyway, we always need to keep looking at the progress that we're making, because we are making progress. We have people of a higher, their third eye has, some of them probably believing to have been open since birth, and these are the people, and a lot of them are in our scientific and technological realms embedded. That's what they have studied, that's what they went to college and university for, and that's what they're doing, and they're helpers. They're doing the best that they can to develop us, to wear us away more from what is happening, from the destruction that we're causing. Yeah, Twitch Live, yeah. So if you cheer like 500 bits, you can get a 3-card reading. If you cheer 1,200 bits, you can get a 10-card reading. If you cheer 200 bits, you can get a 1-card reading. And if you subscribe to me, then I have already I'm trying to do it where, like, if you're my subscriber, you get a monthly reading, a free monthly 10 card reading. Okay? So Miguel, I still owe Miguel a reading, and I owe Mr. Weird a reading. So a subscription to me monthly is like $5.99 or something, and then you get a monthly 10 card reading for free. Okay, so the third eye is literally what do you call it? Like it's a gland. It's a gland that's in there. It's a little bit deeper in there, and it's a gland. Thank you for following, Jimmy. I appreciate you. And it is something that is connected to your conscience, okay? It is connected to the conscience, which is connected to everything, to all energy output, to magic, to the universe, right? It's all connected here. It all flows into here. It's all about abundance in knowledge, which is only attained by education, by reading, by spiritually educating, by spiritually mending, and by spiritually focusing and growing yourself. So it's mostly about inverted thought. It's about realization about all your surroundings. It's being completely conscious of everything that's around you, of yourself, of others. And now some people, they work on this for years and years and years, right? For decades. And like Buddhist monks, for instance, I always bring them as the example, because they are literally one of the people that is their whole life is focused pretty much on spiritual enlightenment. That is the goal. That's the goal. That's really unspoken, but it's not really reachable. Okay, you have to be alive for as long as humanity has been alive in order to really achieve perfect spiritual enlightenment. That's my thought on that, right? Because you have to really learn and relive all of the spiritual growth that humanity has endured and has gone throughout the millennia of its existence. Okay, so it's like we can feel that our third eye opens more and more and gets bigger and bigger as we go closer to the goal, and I don't know, it depends also on yourself, right? Because for some people, meditation is really sitting there and meditating. Like for a person like me, I'm a very tumultuous person. There's a lot of stuff going on. So for me, the best way to do it is to go inwardly and sit and meditate. Other people have other ways of attaining this spiritual this capability of traveling spiritually, because that's essentially what you're doing when you meditate. Your spirit travels. Like you talk about daydreaming. Daydreaming is a form of meditation, but it is not like an official form of meditation because you're not conscious of it. You have to be conscious of it when you begin your meditation. You have to be conscious that is what you're doing, because that will be part of how you discipline your spirit, of how you hone your spiritual abilities and your spiritual enlightenment or path to enlightenment. Emma. Thank you for joining. Okay, so now schizophrenia is obviously it's a disorder that is in your brain, okay? Okay, so Emma, you will have to make a Twitch account and join on Twitch in order to receive readings now, because I do readings for bits now. In exchange for bits, I do readings. So if you could make a Twitch account and then join my stream on Twitch, then I can give you a reading. So thank you. So okay, so I do believe that, because when you have, and of course I'm no professional, I'm not a physician of any sort, anything like this, but my personal opinion is that I do believe that people that have disorders in that sense, that I also think that can probably trigger something else in there as well that other people don't have. Okay, but it cannot be controlled unless, you know, medication. But then, of course, the medication is only there to pretty much contain the negative effects of this disorder, right? It is not designed to enhance any of the positive things that can come after that, because there has never been really research into what could possibly be positive about this. This is now being done pretty much by physicians, by scientists. Now things like this are being discovered. You know how for the longest times, for instance, mushrooms were considered, you know, bad, it's a bad drug, Now scientists are seeing, okay, there's actually things that are good about it that we can use to heal people, to help people. And I think it's the same thing, that science is still in the process of understanding all these different, like, psychological and mental disorders and trying to make sense of them, because they have really just been trained and really just been doing the research and the science on how to stop the negative impacts of these disorders, right? So it was never really focused on, but I think it will, and I think it is probably even momentarily, right? So I do believe that there could be something, you know, somebody that has schizophrenia, somebody that has even, I don't know, multiple personality disorder, like whatever it could be, bipolar, there can be depression, there can be something drawn out of it that can be used and said, oh, okay, for instance, depression triggers something like this in the brain too, which can actually have a positive effect. And then, you know, then of course scientists have to do the research and have to understand how, you know, what chemicals are needed in order to trigger this part of this disorder in a positive way, you know, for positive development. So, and of course, all of it is obviously, because it's especially the brain, but then again, the heart functions just as the brain when it comes to memory holding. We have found out that the heart stores memory just like the brain does, but it just, you know, it functions differently. So, and then of course all of it is connected to our spirit, our soul, our conscience. So, you know, that is my thought as a layman. I'm not a physician, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a therapist, I'm nothing like this, but I am an occultist, a spiritual researcher, and I'm a shamanka that practices shamanism. So that's what I do. Exactly, Kay. Exactly. That's exactly it. Yes. Okay. See, okay, that right there. You said you have, you know, heavenly figures. That is almost like you're almost disciplining yourself. You are almost disciplining yourself, your own disorder. And that already right there shows that you have something, you know, that I think many probably with schizophrenia don't have, is that they have this really strong sense of shaping their own reality, of shaping this, you know, because you're taking the positive with it, you're using that, you're probably subconsciously making it like this, whereas to other people result into the negative, and they have, their spirit has not, so their character and their light inside, their dark flame has not shown so much that they can control this a disorder like you in a sense control it, you know what I mean? Trace White. What? I mean, I don't know. I don't know who's Trace White. There are many people that do psychic readings on here, I think. So I'm not the Hi, Shelly. Thanks for joining. I appreciate you. Yeah, so Jimmy, to answer your questions, if I don't know if the ads are over yet, but I'm hoping they're over. Okay. So, listen, here's the thing. Subscribe to me. If you subscribe to me, you get one free reading a month, a 10 card reading a month. If you don't subscribe, you cash in your bits that you can get if you make a Twitch channel, okay? And then you can choose. You can choose what reading you want. You can get a 1 card, a 3 card, or a 10 card reading, okay? 200 bits for a 1 card reading, 500 bits for a 3 card reading, and 1200 bits for a 10 card reading, okay? But if you subscribe to me, you will get one free reading a month, and it'll be a 10 card reading. It will be the whole setup, okay? So thank you, Shelly, for liking my stream. Thank you. Yeah, so subscribe to me. So I think a subscription is only $5.99 a month. So if you subscribe to me for $5.99 a month, you'll get a free reading every month. One free reading. And that's pretty much all you need, you know, because that's it. So I appreciate everybody that's following me. I appreciate all of you guys liking my stream and all of you guys coming in here and being so interested and wanting to talk about these things. And you guys are the best. I have made affiliate, and I could have never done it without you guys. It would have been impossible. So I thank you guys. I'm excited, and I'm excited for people to come here new. I'm excited for Promethean being so great as my moderator, and I'm having a blast. And I'm really, thank you, Florida Metal. Thank you. That is Florida Metal. That is one of my biggest followers, my fleshling, my supporter of me and my band as well. So I'm very honored. I'm very honored that you guys are so attentive and so just wonderful. And I appreciate it every day, and I can't even describe. I can't even tell you. Anyway, Jimmy, I want to get to you real quick. Jimmy, there's a bunch of people that do psychic readings. Wonderful people that are really good at what they do. It's free to, you are free to do, you know, whatever you want. So if you say, oh, that's cheaper over there, da da da, that's how it goes. So you go there, of course. Hello, Onessa. Thank you for joining. How are you? Onessa. I like that name. That's cool. Yeah, so, and Shelly is new. This is what this is about. The Sect of the Dragon. Let me just bring this real quick to the table because people are like, what is she talking about? The Sect of the Dragon. If you're interested, go on my Facebook profile. On my Sect of the Dragon profile, I have my 7 keys on there, which are pretty much like 7 rules, and I have my whole mission statement and statement. What is the Sect of the Dragon about? What is this movement about? And this movement in its essence is about the education and the gathering of knowledge and information to spiritual enlightenment, okay? To spiritual growth and enlightenment. Anybody is welcome, of any religion, of any religious path, of any cultural path. Anybody is welcome. As much information as we can gather to reach the spiritual height that we want to reach, okay? To see the connections between the books that we've read, the experiences that we had when it came to spiritual experiences, right? When it came to spiritual adventures and things that occurred to us. Okay, so this is what the Sect of the Dragon is all about. But it probably can do more good than you think. And that's exactly what needs to happen. People like UK is what the world needs, right? Because it is, of course, it is true that it can seem abrasive to people, and it can seem very scary and intimidating, and very much so not understanding. But that's what I said the other time. It's like an onion that we peel, because we have to get to the center, right? I mean, with an onion you don't have to get to the center, but you know what I mean. Like, there is so much myth and so much saga out there, and so much really just invented stories and fables, etc., etc. But there's always an element of truth to all of these things, and that is exactly what the Sect of the Dragon is about. When it comes to spiritual research, religious research, theological research, esoteric research, Gnostic research, pagan, satanic, Christian, everything, all of this research, when we peel back these layers of the nonsense and of the myths and the inventions and the exaggerations, we find the truths. And then we connect the dots. And we connect the truths between all these stories that we've read, all the things that we've learned, and all the experiences we've had. And we connect this between all of us people, between all of the different religions and all of the different spiritual paths. And it's gonna be like a wonderland for all of us, right? That's the goal. And our goal is spiritual research and education until the end, as much as we can, as far as we can go. That's the goal. Because what else is there in life? We live this one conscious life. We have no idea what comes after. We have beliefs, we have faiths, but science has never shown us yet what actually appears. Okay, so that is the whole point, is that we apply science, but we do not stop, as Helena Blavatsky always advised, we do not stop at the science, because that is how science works. We go past the discovered science. We keep looking further to discover more and uncover more and get more scientific facts than we had before. That's how it works. Science is something that keeps progressing. It never stops. Scientists don't say, okay, I have found this now and this is it. No, then they go from what they have found, their equation, and spread the tentacles out from there, because knowledge is always grown. And we know knowledge is power. And power means that we can control, and we can control it to the point we can control things to the point where we can flip this around for us again, for all of us on this planet, and we can flip this around mainly for our planet itself. That is the whole point, because we have to kind of revert back a little bit, right? We don't have to be barbarians again, but we have to revert back, and we have to be connected more to nature, because that's where we come from. That's where we stem from. We come from the earth. We go back to the earth. It's just natural, right? And then this is such a big fault in what we have done over the years, is that we have just gone so far off. We have no connection. Some of us don't even see plants or a tree for months at a time. It is not natural. It is not what we were supposed to do. Our ancestors didn't do that. Our ancestors didn't work like that. And they were the most prosperous. We are very fastly progressing in our technology. There's no doubt about it, at an unprecedented rate. I said that earlier. But when it comes to our natural order, we are completely digressing. As where our ancestors were prospering, it was prosperous. Humans were at their peak because they were completely in sync with nature, be it coming to growing their own crops, to domesticating animals and living with animals, and even in dangerous zones, even around dangerous flora and fauna. Everything was. The cycle and circle was perfect, and we have drifted off into something that we were never supposed to be like this. We were always supposed to maintain a connection to where we originated from, where we came from. Partially from the earth up, and from the sky down. That is us. That is how we became to be. Ah, that's really interesting. Yes. Okay. Okay. But it is unfortunately that these things sometimes get twisted, Kay, but it is really true that there are these, but where did they come from? Where did these stories originate from? They, we always must remember that in my opinion, that when these certain stories that remain spoken and that remain around for thousands of years and being passed down by ancestors to their descendants, etc., etc., we must always remember these were very important things, because nothing that's some worthless jibber jabber will just drown and will never be repeated. But things where truths are hidden from view at first, but where truths are buried, it will continue to circulate. It will always circulate. And only by people of wisdom and people of intelligence are the ones that are able to separate the nonsense from yes, the truth, or things that contain facts, and they pass that on, because only people of intelligence and wisdom have the urge to even pass that on, right? So we have to trust in a lot of these stories. We have to really trust in a lot of these stories. And now, well, fables are stories where animals talk, pretty much. That's what is the definition of a fable. But even so, we have humans with animal heads in ancient Egypt, even in Mesopotamia, these things in the stories, in the engravings, right? What is the truth behind this? Was it really like this, or did they just put these masks on? Or was there really the the surgeons that were capable of connecting the nerves just so perfectly that they could sew on a crocodile head on a human body. Is that a possibility? You know, we have to think about that, because in our progress as humans, in our evolution as humans, as conscious human beings, we have lost so much knowledge. We have lost so much information, so many treasures. And I'm talking about not just treasure, like educational treasures, but even physical treasures that we have just for the last 30, 40 years have been uncovering. You know, our parents were still kids, you know, like it's recent. It's very recent of the biggest things that we have uncovered, that we have found, that we have remembered, right? Like Mr. Weird said it earlier, the combined conscience of everything. It can only be like this because back then there were just less people on the planet, right? And the clans were tighter together, so it was easier to build this great conscience between all of the people, right? But it has now completely split up because we have now almost 8 billion people, I believe it is, on the planet, right? And it's okay. The planet itself, it's fine, you know, but the problem is what we produce, what we put into the atmosphere is what's destroying the planet. The actual number of people is not even the problem, right? Technically. So, but we have lost so much knowledge, and we're just kind of scattering around because we're getting smarter as we go, because you know, it's evolution. We're evolving. We're getting smarter as generations progress. But the problem is we leave all this really essential information that we have had thousands of years ago. We're leaving that behind. We're moving on without it, and it's not helping. We need to incorporate this. We need to go back to our roots. We need to incorporate these past informations into our new developments that we are doing. Our new technology that we are developing. We have to incorporate that. We cannot separate ourselves from nature any longer of fear or of you know, disrespect, you know, disregard. I don't need you. Oh, I don't like walking in the woods. That's lame. Are you serious? What? There is literally a network that happens beneath your feet in a forest because all roots of all trees are connected in a forest and they communicate with each other through vibrations. That's scientific fact. As soon as you tell that to somebody that says, I fucking hate walking in the woods, I like playing video games, they're going to be like, for real, dude? That's fucking awesome. Let's walk in the woods. Exactly. You have to make this attractive to people, but they're not doing that. They're doing the opposite, unfortunately. Unknowingly, unpurposefully, right? It's not on purpose, but it just happens to, like, they're stumbling, and it just happens to end up this way, unfortunately. But, you know, there's so much shit that we need to take in, and also so much shit that we need to let go and separate ourselves from, because it's no good. Yes. Okay. To have their tails bring attention to the boulders and snakes. Perfect. Maybe snakes speak. LOL. That's what the Bible states. Oh, hi, sweetheart. Yeah, look at my bid rating here for the... It's right in the chat for the readings. Okay, so, you know, so, thank you so much, Kay. It was really great to hear, and I know that this is just a tiny, tiny fraction of everything that you have to say, and I hope you'll be back, and I hope we can talk more. This was amazing. Subscribe, guys, because if you subscribe to me also, there will be no advertisements for you. So... and we can talk without interruption. This is really great. This is really great, guys. I really think that gears have been kicked into motion tonight, and I think there has been made progress. I cannot answer that question. So the more we do these meetings here, I call them meetings because I really think this is like, this is what it is. You know, the more we do this, the more people, you know, because then if we feel like we gain, so as you can see here, you can um I can give you a one card reading for five or for 200 bits. I can give you one card reading and I can answer your question. So as we continue our talks about the spiritual development, right? It is good. I really hope that you guys are taking stuff away from it. That this is actually something that you guys think about after the stream, right? Because that's where it really starts. Because we can do the stream and the socializing and this talking all we want, but do we think about as soon as we turn the stream off? That's the biggest thing. And that's what, in my opinion, is where you separate yourself from others. Because when we're done here tonight, which I'm probably going to hop off soon, it's been 3 hours, but when we're done here and I'm turning this off, I can legitimately say from an energy point of view that my energy has been obviously very much revived and reciprocated. And that I can move on and I can continue to think about the conversations that we've had tonight, about the thoughts that we've had, and this is what will help us further our development as humans, as conscious and spiritual humans, creatures, animals. We're just, the species is human, right? So because if this matters to us, then we will repeat this to other people. We will speak to other people. We will make other people aware of this importance, of the importance of this journey that we're undergoing, right? So I really hope that this is the case for you guys. I really hope that you guys really think about the next time you want to throw like a fucking garbage bag of McDonald's out of your car window, don't do it. Envision the face of a baby kangaroo, for instance, in the back of your head. Literally, really think about this and think that you can be the cause of their demise by doing that. You know, think about that. That's what I stand for. That's what everything in my life stands for. The music that I make, everything that I do. So, you know, if we can really think about this and know this and realize this and share this with other people, give this to other people, and them seeing this and being aware just as much as we are, that's when we start changing the world actively. And by changing the world, I mean bringing it back to where it was supposed to be, where it was supposed to always remain, you know? That is about the biggest goal. You know, so I can only hope that we can get there. That we can get there one day, that we can just, I don't know, keep on keeping on, you know, and destroy anybody that wants to do things to harm anything, you know, because that's not, these humans cannot be maintained here anymore, you know. They just really can't. And it's time. And it's really just a shame that there have to be people like me actually voicing this out loud, right? People are like, oh, what a fucking hippie. But it's not even like that. I have to literally explain to grown adults that we shouldn't do the things that we're doing. It's really kind of like, really? I mean, that should be obviously already totally a common knowledge. Not to throw your trash out like that on the street. Not to freaking have your truck running for 15 minutes when you know that, oh, okay, sweetheart, you want me to play a riff? See, I didn't get that on the thing. I guess I gotta change that. Yeah, sweetheart, I can play you a riff. Hydration? Answer to your question? Oh, you just blurting out all... So, okay, so you gotta look... That's so funny. So, you gotta look down on your thing. Your crystals are... You cash in your crystals, sweetheart, for these different things, right? You just cashed in your crystals for a bunch of different stuff. You cashed in your crystals for me to play you a riff, for me to answer a question, and for me to show you an altar item, I think. Oh, hydration, actually. Is this really what you want? Because that's what it says. That's why it says it. Like, you cashed in your crystals for a riff for me to play. That's why it's called riff. You cashed in your crystals, which are channel points that you gain as you watch me, for an occult and metaphysical history fact. Then you cashed in your crystals for hydration. Just going to do that for you real quick. And then you cashed in your crystals for answering a question of any type. A personal question. Of course, not a psychic question. But that's what you just did, essentially, with all your crystals. I don't even think you're here anymore, but yeah. So that's what crystals are for. I know, it was all very confusing to me at first, too, when I first became affiliate and had all this different, like, crystals and bits and what is this, and then I finally figured it out, and then I got it. But, okay. Alright, guys, so it's been 3 hours. I'm hyped up as fuck, but in a good way. I think I'm gonna go. I do want to say I'm so grateful. Again, I'm so grateful for all of you. Shelly, Jimmy, Kay, Mr. Weird, as always. Oh, and Promethean was here. And I had, let's see, I had Onessa. I had Florida Metal was here. Sweetheart was here. Emma. I think that's pretty much it. Yes, and of course, Promethean. Yes, I want to thank all of you guys so much for your support, so much for coming. I want to say again, thank you, Mr. Weird, for subscribing. You're my second subscriber. Woohoo! So, that's it. That is my new thing that I'm doing. If you're a subscriber of mine, you get one free reading a month. That's it, okay? I'm going to do that for you because, you know, that's what I want to do. I was advised against it, and I said, nope. I changed my mind. I'm doing it tonight. I'm going to do it. So, I want you guys... You know what? This is what we're going to do. Do you guys like video games? Because if you do, this man right here, up there, Erali, is streaming right now. So, what we're going to do, if I can know how to do it, I don't know if I know how to do it, but I'm going to try to do it. I'm going to try to figure out how to move this over here real quick. I need to try to figure out how to raid his channel, because that's what I want to do right now. You guys gotta help me. Because that's what I want to do. Let's see. Get my keyboard out here. And we're gonna raid a rally. So, how does this work? I don't know. Raid a rally? Oops. I don't know how to raid a channel, but I want to try to figure this out now. Okay, so wait a minute. When I push raid, something comes up. A sibling. Raid, okay. And then I go... What is this channel called? Shit. I think it's just called a rally, right? That's what I think. Let me see. Let's see. Sorry, guys. I really want to do that. I wish my stupid computer was not that slow. I swear. Jeez. It's ridiculous. That's why I can't do what I want to do. Sibling rivalry at its best. Oh, that's what I'm seeing now. I didn't read that last part. Oh, shit, ad. Damn. Let's see. Yeah, that's what it's called. Okay. All right, guys. I want to say thank you. We're heading out. We're going to go raid a rally here. Hopefully it works, okay? Thank you, everybody, for subscribing, for following, for liking, for coming, for talking. I thank you guys, okay? I see you next time. Tschüss, zdravo, and bye. Let's see if it works. Invalid username. It didn't work. Shit. How does that work? Yeah, the channel. But the channel is called... What is this channel called then? Maybe... maybe this is it? Let me click on it and see. Ah, okay. I think that's what I gotta do. I think I'm figuring this out. Maybe. Let's see. Invalid username. Okay, it says it right here. I don't get it. Right. Yeah, that's what I want to do. That's what I did. Okay, so wait. I'll do... Okay. I got it now, guys. I got it now. I think I got it. What? What is this? Okay. Okay, let's try this. Let's see if it works. But wait a minute. It doesn't make any sense. How would that work? Okay. That's fine. I'm going to look this up now because... Sorry, guys, but I really want to do this. I want to learn how to do this because I have other people that I want to raid too. So... What's the channel name, though? That's always the problem. Let's see. What does it say? Okay, I gotta really figure out the channel name is what it is. What is this? Channel name. 4164. 4164. Let's see if it works. If it works, then I bid you farewell, people, and I will see you tomorrow. Nope. I'm still here. God damn it, what the fuck? What the hell? Oh my god. Have I really been doing this so wrong the whole time? What is this? Perfect. Bye, guys. Zdravo, tschüss, and check him out. Don't leave him.
I killed her and then we lost. Get out of here. Welcome, Raiders. How's it going? Welcome.
Cool.
Welcome, everyone.
It worked.
Stop needing healing. What are you talking about? Needing healing. What are you talking about?